Here's a very important part, how to drop together. You always have to make sure that your teammates go first, especially if you're in a place where you won't get smoked. You make sure they drop, and then you drop down yourself. Looking back to see, make sure Whammo didn't get pulled or charged or pounced. Got that axe out real quick to clear that charger. And we just killed the entire infected team, so Hunter's pushing up a little bit here. And we get a good run in. And here you see what happens when you kind of sneak off by yourself a little bit. Whammo pushes up a little too far. And I end up having to come in and save his ass. Here you'll see Whammo run in. I turn around, he's boomed, and he's pounced, and there's a charger. But, you know, that's good cover. That's me kind of staying with him and making sure that he's not by himself. And here's an example of what can go wrong when you don't stay with your team. And I go a little bit Rambo here. Here I think everything is fine, and it seems like we just cleared an attack, so I'm going to run in here and check for a molly, and there's a smoker waiting for me, and my team is already downstairs. And for some reason they don't know where I am. And it has to, you know, they have to come back, and that smoker gets me down to almost halfway. Here we push up pretty quickly, but we end up getting spread out too thin. You'll see us pushing pretty aggressively here after we just cleared that initial attack in the third level of Dark Carnival. And you know, I'm not clearing Horde. I just want to push. I just want to push. And here I overextend. The team is, you know, spread out pretty far. I get jockeyed. We have a boomer, and we have a hunter on us and a smoker from behind, and this is real bad. And you know, this is almost like a really, you know, we could have wiped on this attack if we didn't have a better clear, or if we had a worse clear. Here's another example of me going Rambo, where you know, we just cleared this attack, and I want to push up into the safe room just so we can avoid this whole uncomfortable. But I get boomed. My teammates are under attack, but I don't care because I'm Rambo. And here I get pounced. My teammates somebody gets charged over there. I'm already down because this hunter is doing crazy DPS with Horde on me. I'm gonna die in the next like 3 or 4 seconds. And now I just have to watch as my team kind of tries to scramble together, but you know, somebody gets pulled. And it's all my fault because I'm John Badass Rambo. So yeah, just another great example of why you want to stay together and play smart. You know, don't do don't do what I did here. Right. Third one is map knowledge. You absolutely have to know what levels you're playing. Don't play versus if you've not beaten all of the single-player campaigns, at least on advanced, at least. And you have to know the fastest way to run through every single level. And when I mean run, I'm talking about you throw a pipe and you run. You know, you're shooting everything along the way, but you have to be able to run through each level in under like 5 minutes. It's a must. If you don't know the map, you've already lost the round. It's crucial. Single player run-throughs on easy are a really good way to start because you can just kill off your bots, or even if you don't kill off your bots, you just grab your weapons and you bolt out the door and you just run through the level and just try to figure out the fastest routes to get through places. Learn shortcuts. Learn where you could jump out a window to save some time. Learn where weapons spawn and ammo spawns and where pills will spawn and mollies. Learn where there are predictable areas where tanks will spawn too. Figure out areas where you think are potentially hazardous and where you can get attacked easily. Those are really important places to avoid ambushes. Learn where the alarmed cars are, where all the ledges that you can get pulled off of or death charged off of are. learn how the terrain can be used against you and learn how to get through those areas as quickly as possible. If you skip a medicine cabinet with 4 sets of pills in order to run ahead in the level, you've probably saved about 2 or 3 minutes of just attacks that you would have had to endure. So you have to start thinking about routes like that. Just the fastest way to get to the level, the better. Because remember, the name of the game for the survivors is speed, and if you have less distance to travel, that means it'll just take you that much faster to get through it. So start thinking about your map knowledge and how well you know every level and what ways you can use the terrain to skip large chunks of space, and just how you can avoid those extra attacks that you don't need to take. All right, let's take a look at some examples of good map knowledge. In this first example, we're going to take a look at one of my favorite shortcuts, and it's in No Mercy 2. We're going to see basically the team jump out the window at the top of after the event, and here you see me grabbing some ammo. Everybody's kind of running around. You want to set up real quick here, and just a real simple place to drop down. You have to drop here. If you hit the bags, the garbage bags, you don't take the extra damage. But this is a perfect example of just saving so much time and so much space, where the infected can just roll an attack. Because most people will go downstairs, they'll check all those rooms. They might get like a set of pills or two and some pipes. But essentially here we run through this whole area without taking a single attack. In this Dark Carnival example, we're basically running around, and I'm showing off my knowledge of the level by just checking for the pills and mollies and whatnot in these apartments. Upstairs, upstairs you can always find some sort of stash of pills or mollies or pipe bombs. And here I'm just running around checking and grabbing stuff. And this just goes to show that if you know the level, you can get all sorts of neat things without really going out of their way for them. No Mercy 3, and this is the event that the dreaded event here, where you can get separated here, and you can get into a lot of trouble. But me and my team actually developed a really good way to run through this whole event. If you can get somebody to open the door for you, most people try to drop down into that room upstairs to grab pills and get ammo and whatnot. But we said screw it to all that, and as soon as somebody opens the door, we just go out and right to the right. We don't even go upstairs. We bypass all that pill, all those pills, all that ammo. We just grab maybe this rifle down here, which is usually there, we noticed, and we just bolt. We literally just pass pills and we take off running. So yeah, that's just an example of really good map knowledge and just really pushing through and cutting out all of that extra time that the infected can use to attack you. The next big thing is weapon knowledge. Man, I hate seeing somebody with 10 or 12 hours pick up a sniper rifle and run around like they're playing Counter-Strike. You have to know what weapons you're using and why you're using them. For example, a single pistol is an absolute fail. You have to have at least 2 pistols. So if you don't have a melee weapon, make sure you always have at least 2 pistols. If you can swap those 2 later for like a Desert Eagle if you find it, because that's an infinitely better gun. You can clear people across the room if you're down with that thing. If you can, grab a melee weapon. So depending on what you're expecting, you need to know what weaponry you have to carry into the fight. So if you feel like you're going to be facing lots of horde, or maybe there's going to be a tank that's going to be in close quarters, you want to grab a melee, like an axe or a sword or something, or a bat. If there's a witch up ahead, or you feel like you're going to be clearing hallways full of horde, take the shotgun. You're going to need, if you feel like you're going to need a long-range firepower versus like a smoker, or maybe there's a tank that's going to climb up on a roof and you feel like you're just going to throw rocks at you all day, you want to grab a rifle. So spread out your arsenal. You don't want to go, one person, all shotties for the whole group. Yeah, we're awesome. So if you can, mix it up. Go 2 shotguns, 2 rifles. So you have that far picking power with the rifles, and you have that nice kind of stopping power close up with the shotgun and the clearing power. So know your weapons. Try them out. Make sure that you get comfortable with them. Each one is really good for something. I guarantee you that. And don't try to crown things if you don't know. Don't try to crown a witch if you have a tier 2, tier 1 shotgun and you've never done it before. Another really cool thing to know is that the Q key that's to the left of W works as a quick swap. So it'll swap out your primary weapon for your secondary weapon. So it's great if you're shooting and you get boomed and then you realize, oh my god, I'm completely surrounded by horde and I need to reload. You quickly Q, hit Q, you'll move over to your sword, and then you just start swinging around and you can clear out the horde. hit Q again, you're back to your rifle, you reload, and you move on. This is much better than having to type 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and it just gets confusing. Just get used to hitting Q. It's really comfortable. So knowing your weaponry is super important. Make sure you are picking your weapons for a reason. Don't just grab things because they look cool. I mean, that's awesome too. I know I enjoy that as well. But make sure that there's it's serving a purpose and it's helping out your team. So, okay, let's see here. Next one is clearing horde and closing doors. Now, horde in this game, as we've talked about, it acts as a slowing agent. So it does everything it can to get in your way, to slow you down, to suck up bullets, and basically do everything it possibly can to make sure that you're going as slowly through the level as possible. That's why there's such thing as random hordes, and natural horde spawns. If you're going too slow, they'll just spawn a horde to try to get you to move faster. That's why booming, being boomed is so scary, because you can absolutely just get destroyed by a ton of horde that's trying to prevent you from clearing one of your buddies who's like being pounced by a hunter. Clearing horde is crucial, and not too many players know how to do it well. So my advice to you is don't run past horde if you can run past it and shoot it. The first and second people that are leading the group should be shooting horde at all times. You need to be just clearing horde, clearing horde, clearing horde. What I like to do is I like to run to a big room, fire off a few shots, and then grab a corner and just start picking off all the horde that runs at me, or grab my sword out and just start swinging like a madman. If you can clear the horde, do it, because a good friend of mine, Jester, said it's not going to be the tank that kills us, it's going to be the horde. And he's absolutely right, because you can shoot. It's really easy to pick all the special infecteds in the world, and it's really easy to put all the firepower on the tank that you can. But if you're being hit from behind by a horde, or if you're surrounded by like 2 or 3 zombies, and every single time you go to fire, you get hit, and your aim will fly off your target. It's annoying, and it's the reason you get killed, because you just get chased down by tanks if you're running slow because the horde is hitting you. So clear that horde, please clear the horde. I hate when I see the first person running and he just, he kind of jukes all the horde because they're still sleeping, and then that wakes up all the horde, and he's running up ahead, and the horde kind of swarms the remainder of the team. And that just causes, it's essentially getting boomed without even a boomer on the map. You need to shoot the horde as you're progressing and make sure that you clear everything as much as possible. So what goes hand in hand with that is closing doors. If you can close doors as you're moving through the level, it's going to save you so much trouble with booms and jockeys and chargers spawning in rooms next to you, running out and attacking you, because you're essentially giving them this special infected close proximity spawns. Basically, they're areas where you can spawn in almost right on top of the survivors just by being on the other side of a wall. So close doors, because it prevents attacks, unnecessary attacks, and it takes away spawns for special infected. They also act as kind of like alarms. So if you're sitting in a hallway and you close the door and you hear that it's being knocked out, you know that there's a special infected behind it, and they're setting up for an attack. So that kind of that function of a door is very useful as well. So close doors, use them as a tactic, use them strategically to help out your team. Let's take a look at some videos about clearing horde. These are pretty short. It's just really self-explanatory. If you know how to clear horde, if you run through any sort of level and you know about shooting zombies, just try to be as efficient as you can about it, and I'll just show you some examples of us clearing horde and why it's a good idea to do so, specifically in certain parts of the map. So here we're coming out of the safe room in No Mercy 2, No Mercy 2, I think, yeah. And this part is always really kind of critical, because you can get pulled down here pretty quickly and it'll kind of push the attack. But if you just jump across this little gap here and clear all this horde, it just makes the attack so much less effective for the special infected, as you'll see here in a moment. So see where the whole team is just clearing everything. I'm just double checking to make sure there's no boomers or anything like that, and just grabbing a little bit of ammo. And doing a quick drop down, picking that boomer there, getting smoked.